You rock with a legacy, DJ Troy here at the Rock and Roll Controls, and we're going to be showing you the inner workings of our radio station, what we're all about, and what our station plays. Our station is a progressive rock, classic rock, otherwise known as album-oriented rock radio station. We play all the rock, not just the chart hits, as you can see on the logo for my software. And we are on 1640 kilohertz AM. I did a demonstration before with the loop. You can search for that on YouTube or even on Google by typing in the Legacy 1640 KHZ Deltaville. You don't even have to type in Deltaville, but anyway, you can, and it'll bring it up. So you'll be able to see that video as well. Today I want to talk about the radio station and the workings of the radio station. Okay? So as you can see, we are a hobby radio station. I operate this thing right out of the bedroom. We're a family-ran radio station, my wife and I being on disability, and we require donations for some of these demos that we're going to be doing for you guys on radios that will help you to receive the radio station. You'll be able to hear it for about 2.5 miles if your house, of course, is not made out of aluminum or you're not inside of a trailer. If you are, you'll have to put the radio next to the window. And as always, AM, you got to keep it away from fluorescent lights and other power supplies. So if you do that, you should be able to pick us up. I'll do some more demos with different loops and stuff like that and radios. I'll do a better video than what I did before to let you know. So this is running on my laptop. This is Nextcast, Nextkast. That's the software that we run for the radio station. Our station plays stuff like, Queen, ZZ Top, Rush, Deep Purple, Brian May, Queen, Smile, Creedence Clearwater Revival, even the band that was before them called the Gollywogs. We played them earlier today. I'll be playing some Sammy Hagar here in just a bit. That'll be coming up. But right now, you probably can hear it just a tiny bit in the background. An Officer and a Gentleman by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. It's got some classical music in it, in there. And I'll just let you hear just a quick. Can't dwell on it for too long because YouTube will probably flag me for copyright. We don't want that because we want to put it up on YouTube so you guys know what the radio station is about. So what this has is it has like the decks, like, would be a cassette deck or whatever. They run automated unless, of course, I get in there and announce. If a person requests a song, it's very easy for me to do. First off, I have these songs separated in 4-year folders, otherwise known as categories. You see 62 to 70, you got 71 to 74, 75 to 78, 79 to 82, 83 to 86, 87 plus, and then I have my ads that I run, and you'll hear like the ads for the loop antenna and stuff like that. Now on the internet, you might hear Walmart ads or Geico or whatever. You're not going to hear that on the AM side, not over the air. Only reason I do it on the internet is I'm required to pay for the expensive licensing for music on the internet. My God, if you been following that. But anyway, I'm not even going to get into that. These are clock wheels. I set up what's called a clock wheel or a rotation. Give it a name. I called it early 1970s. And as you see here, it'll start off at the top of the hour doing the ID, which is the WAQM, the Legacy, Deltaville, Virginia. And then I've got random ID after that. This time it's going to play New Radio Revolution, where it says, the Legacy, Revolutionary Radio, Deep Tracks. You probably heard that before. And then it'll go into the tracks that I'll be playing. And I'll probably do some Led Zeppelin later on, I see. We'll do something from David Bowie. The Raconteurs, which is a band you don't hear no more. April Wine, stuff like that. Ian Hunter, you see that? What we're playing right now is highlighted. me see if I can show that right now. Yeah, this is what we're playing right now. Sammy Hagar, Don't Stop Me Now is the name of the track that we're playing right now. I wish I could, leave it turned up so you could hear it, but don't want to get flagged for copyright on YouTube. So, real easy to set up this software. Again, it is $200. It's got its built-in processor. It's got its built-in encoder, and I stream to Icecast version 2.0, and I rent a server. Actually, should I say my sponsor rents the server, because he sponsors my station. And I have the capability of unlimited number of listeners at one time on the internet. That's something that a lot of stations can't boast. My sponsors put a lot of money in this radio station. And I also want to thank people like Robert J. Lane, who's put a lot of money into the transmitter. And I do mean a lot. So to run one of these things, it's going to cost you a little bit of money. And that's why, donations are great. We're on the internet at thelegacy.shorturl.com as well. Thelegacy.shorturl.com and 1640 kilohertz on the AM dial. Now, to add songs to your folders is real easy. When you go to where it says tracks, not playlists, but tracks. Playlists are something different. You can do playlists too, but tracks, and there it is. There's one of my folders I have open, the 1962 to 70 folder, and these are all the bands that I have in there, and they're listed alphabetically. Or you could do a search throughout the whole thing, the whole what you got going on. See there, Creedence Clearwater Revival. All that stuff, all those tracks that I have, I can make something happen. There's some Dave Mason, yeah, don't see that every day. See, Grateful Dead. Look at all the Grateful Dead stuff I've got. Commercial station. What is it? I Will Survive. Maybe Truckin'. You might be lucky to hear from. Jagow's band, Freeze Frame, you might hear on a commercial station. I've got a lot of the albums from Jagow's band, and this is only in the 1962 to 66 folder. This doesn't even include, we'll click on a different one for you, give you a little taste of what our station's about. How about something from 1971 to 74? So it loads up, loading up all those tracks, it's loading them in. I have over 2,080 or 2,031 tracks just for that folder alone. Just for that folder. So you see like bands like A Foot in Cold Water. It's a great band, but you don't hear it every day on the radio. Of course, you hear AC/DC. You hear stuff like that. But, even the Bachman Turner Overdrive stuff, the Badfinger stuff, the Black Sabbath stuff I play. This is just basically showing you all the music that I have in the radio station. Everything is, I bought a lot of those tracks from iTunes. That's another thing your donations go into is, the vast, ever-growing music catalog for the Legacy. And it's well worth listening to us with that loop and that good radio that we talk about. Hot Tuna, great band. You probably never heard of them. But on our station, I promise you, you're going to hear things you don't hear nowhere else. And ask a commercial radio station to play it for you and see what they tell you. I don't think your luck's going to be very good at all. That they'll even play it. So the software has the ability to have, if I wanted to, I could have the mixer board hooked up right here where it says line in, and I could do interviews with somebody or stuff like that. I don't have a mixer right now. We will soon have one. That's where your donations go. We would like to be able to do interviews with folks in Deltaville that want to talk on our station. You know, maybe you got a band, an album-oriented rock band. Riptide played at Sunset Grill last year. Very good band, by the way. That's the kind of stuff I would play. But if they got any written material that they write themselves, I would play. But they did a great job on Jimi Hendrix, Voodoo Child. They did a great job on that. If Jimi Hendrix could come out of his grave, he would probably give every one of those guys a congratulation. And I had a great day. Bleh, I had a great time at Sunset Grill that day with Tammy was running it at the time. Megan was there at the time. You know, my stepson Richard was working there at the time, and he's there now. But good stuff. I mean, and you know, I'm even getting my stepson into progressive rock. You know, so much stuff to be discovered. But you know, like I said, true album rock is what we do. No rap, no top 40. You won't even pay me for it. It's not going to happen. So if you're a real album rock artist, I'll play your stuff. I've gotten people like Greg Gadovitz from Canada. I've talked to him and played his music. Good stuff. Gado. Another band that he was in was called Flood, F-L-U-D-D. Good band that he was in too. And wonderful, wonderful gentleman. He also did some stuff with Geddy Lee of Rush. So he knows those people real well. We want to thank him for his donations to the radio station too. He's done actual donations to our station and helped us out. So, you know, I got to thank everybody who's made the radio station what it is. Without donations and without the support of our listeners, we wouldn't be anything. So we always got to remember that. So never become too pompous or cocky that you forget your donors. And this goes to anybody who's doing hobby broadcasting. Don't become a person that forgets who keeps you on the air, because if you do that, you're not going to be on the air long. All right, so getting back into the radio, in the software in our station, that software I can request, like if a person wants me to play, for example, Smile, Doing All Right, and I'm going to take that song because Bohemian Rhapsody made Queen very popular now, and I've gotten so many requests for Queen now because of Bohemian Rhapsody. But they are a great band. I'm glad to see young folks getting into album rock. Thank God that the drought might be, slowing down. But let's take that band for example. Let's take Smile. I'll be right back. Now, I typed in Smile, and then I did the hyphen. That means it's a wild card. And it took all the songs that I have from Smile. And it makes it so I can just pick one and add it to the cart. Now, if I did that, if I add it to the player, it's going to take over the next song that is scheduled to play and play that instead. So if a person requests a song, I can get their song on the radio. Just like that. Very simple stuff. So I don't just do automated and not play requests. But again, your requests have to be album-oriented rock. I'm not going to play Britney Spears, or I'm not going to play LL Cool J. I'm not going to play that. And you could offer me money. Again, I won't. Because what we're trying to do is bring album-oriented rock back to the masses. It's a good format. It's been blocked for too many years, and it's time to bring it back to the masses. That's what our station was all about, and it always will be about that. Go back to my logo. So that's the software there. If you have questions about it, I'm available. Rockline is available, 804-895-7164. Once again, 804-895-7164. You can text or call, usually around 11 a.m. till about 8 p.m. or so, give or take. My wife and I like to have some family time, and usually that happens, around that time. The radio station will remain on the air as long as I'm at home. The internet's always on, but if I'm going to be gone for a long time, I will shut the transmitter down, just in case we have a malfunction, and we don't want to be interfering with any other radio services. So if somebody called me up and started telling me I'm bleeding all over the dial, I'll investigate the situation, and I'll have my broadcast engineer investigate it too. If it becomes a problem, we shut down until it's solved. I don't just run it when it's doing something that's not supposed to be doing. We'll show the transmitter here in just a minute. Let me go ahead and show you what the transmitter looks like a little bit. What you're looking at now is the display of the transmitter. It's an ASMAX2, which has to be put together. But when you get the transmitter, you don't get it in this beautiful case. It comes in a plastic case. But this one is metal. And as you see, it's professionally made. It's not anything junky. This thing is meant to be professional, so the RF interference doesn't happen, and even putting it in a metal case keeps it from being a problem. The audio processor is on top of it. There's the audio processor, and no RF gets into that because I'm running a metal case and got my antenna outside. It's a 10-foot antenna. It's just a 10-foot antenna that goes outside. And I got my little Bluetooth receiver going to the transmitter because my wife likes to be able to watch TV and stuff, and if I were to broadcast in the same room as the TV's in, you wouldn't be able to listen to TV. So that's why I'm broadcasting in a separate room, and the transmitter is in a separate room. Alright, so let's go back. We'll talk a little bit more about the radio station. Alright, a couple things I want to go over as far as the settings go. And this is for people that do hobby broadcasting. Album-oriented rock, of course, we don't use crossfading. But what you want to do is for album rock is when one song fades completely out, you want to be able to go into the next song. So as you see, I got the crossfade turned off. The trim is what you adjust. I got that set to negative 48 dB, and that allows that. And then of course your hours of artist separation, 5 hours. So you're not going to hear the same artist all the time on this station. In fact, again, it will be a month before you hear the same song, unless otherwise requested. Requested tracks are played once every 24 hours, unless we have to go to the remote studio due to a technical problem. Run as high priority. That tells the computer that this is the main software that should be your high priority. Auto start streaming. Yeah, I don't have that turned on. Enable top of the hour rules for ID. It's what I run. That's why every hour you hear that legacy ID. The next button will switch to automated, so I can go in there and announce what songs are playing. Voice track only, if you want to do that, you can do that, but I don't. Remote management. You could run this software on a remote server and manage it remotely. Now, I do it a different way than what they do with this software. I run TeamViewer, and then I can manage it with my tablet if I want to. I can honestly, let's say I went to the Sunset Grill, and I was showing you guys my station. I can run my station from my tablet at Sunset Grill, because what I do is I run the software called TeamViewer, which allows you to run your computer remotely. So I can then type what I did and make that station play the song that someone wants to hear. I have done that a few times. I've ran that a few times when I had a lot of listeners, and even if I'm out and about, I might have to go to Walmart and go to the bank or whatever, take my tablet, and I hear a listener call me up and say, "Hey, I want to hear some Rush." I go in there and type in Rush, and or if they give me a certain song I want to hear, I can play it immediately, and they get to hear it. So people here in Deltaville, they don't even know when I'm gone. Sometimes if I'm gone for a short time, they won't even know. So that's the beautiful thing about being able to run the radio station remotely, and I do it. I do it here sometimes, not all the time, but I do it. So, and of course it shows you the weather. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But I wanted to show you that on there. It tells you how many times the song's been played. See, and I've got it. I got so many tracks that it hasn't been played at all. See, that's the first time it's been played, and it will be that way for about a month, and then I reset it every month. So that's what you do there. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I think I've pretty much covered everything on the radio station. The fact that the years are separated, the tracks are done with Nextcast. It's done with the laptop. We're on 1640 kilohertz AM and doing Albemarle Rock. At night, AM doesn't do too well. Sometimes you're going to get more interference. For those of you who are not familiar, right now it's about 548. I'm still doing fairly decent, but when you start getting around 7, 8 o'clock, those the distant stations try to come in, and it's just a hodgepodge of a bunch of them that come in at once, and you probably won't hear the Legacy that good unless you're really on top of it. That's nothing I can help. The FCC only allows for Part 15, Section 219, which don't require any kind of license. They only allow you 100 milliwatts out into a 10-foot antenna. So you're not gonna bang somebody's door down. But at the same time, you people with your loops, like I told you, and good radios, you'll hear us 2.5 miles away on your radio. So I'm hoping to get everybody on board. Please tell everybody about the radio station, and let me know what you like about the video and what you don't like about the video. If there's some questions I can ask, I'll answer. I'll try to do it for you. You leave your comments on YouTube, and we'll do the best that we can. And you always got the rock line, that 804-895-7164. You can text or call. Tell your friends about us. 1640 kilohertz AM is our frequency. I want to thank you for becoming a loyal listener of The Legacy. Keep on rocking.